Well, hello there, Treasure Coast, and welcome again to another edition of the Restoring the Village Family Hour. I'm your host, Larry Lee Jr., and before we get started, we want to thank our sponsors, and they are Chris Fogle with the Way Cafe, Bill Knight, State Farm Insurance Agency, Al Johnson with Jackson Hewitt Tax Services, Jan's Trendsetter Hair Salon, Karen Hoskins with Realty One, Larry Lee Jr., State Farm Insurance Agency, and of course, 104.5 The Flame. And we want to thank all of you for joining us this evening. And I have a very special guest. This is going to be a great show tonight. I have my good friend, Cleveland Gary. And now many of you may have known Cleveland from a star running back at South Fork High back in the day, and went on to the University of Miami and was an All-American football player there. The Rams' #1 draft pick, and Cleve led the NFL in touchdowns in 1990 with 14. And this guy is doing some amazing things. So we're going to be talking about where Cleve came from, what his time at the UM, his time in the NFL, and what he's doing these days. And Cleve owns several businesses. Welcome to the show, Cleve.
Thank you, Larry, for having me. I'm honored to be here. It's exciting. You're doing some amazing things. I got a chance to tune in and listen to a couple shows, and after listening to those shows, it was a no-brainer. Thanks for inviting me.
Well, Cleve, we're very proud of you. You're homegrown, and glad to see you back doing some things. And tell us a little bit about Cleveland Gary. Tell us about how you grew up, where you grew up back in the day down in Martin County.
Well, grew up in a small town called Indiantown, Florida. Grew up there, played baseball, football, basketball, gymnastics, nothing to do out there on that so-called reservation. But play sports to keep yourself from getting into trouble. And, it's a great place to come from. Very humble beginnings, by the way, because we grew up as migrants. But very humble beginnings.
And now that was too brief. When you talk about Indiana, where you was born, tell us about South Fork in your high school career.
Well, South Fork, initially, Larry, back in the day, I started out going to Martin County High School because, back then there was no South Fork High School. So my 9th and 10th grade year, I was at Martin County, and I played varsity football and played baseball there. And was fortunate enough to be on varsity my sophomore year, and was all area. But after that, I had no idea they were in the process of building a new high school. So after my sophomore year, I had to make a decision to stay to Martin County or go to South Fork. And I lived in that particular zone, so I had to go to South Fork.
Well, I remember you came up to Fort Pierce, man, and Freddie. I'm very good friends with both your uncles, Willie and Freddie, and Freddie and I, we have a long-lasting relationship. I was in the insurance business, and he asked me to help him when he was getting ready to study for his license, and he told me, he said, he was surprised that I would help him get in business with a powerful name like Gary, and would be concerned about being a competitor. And I said, no, that's not how I operate, Freddie. I said, we all need to help each other. And Freddie, from that day forward, we developed a bond. But I remember you came to Fort Pierce, and you all were at Longwood Stadium. I'll never forget, you ran all over us up here. And I remember Freddie coming in the game. I think he had just broke a loan when he said, there goes the franchise. I'll never forget that. But and so, Cleve, you left South Fork, and you went down to you went to, a lot of people don't know this, you went to Georgia first, right?
That's exactly.
Tell us about that, moving up there and then coming back to UM.
Well, what happened in high school, I ran the ball a lot. In 10 games, you rushed for 2,100 yards and scored 30 touchdowns. U and I formation. I wanted to go to a school where I could be featured as an I-back and win the Heisman Trophy. And I really had goals on winning it my freshman year. And, but my family kept insisting that, hey, you got great hands. You should be down at the University of Miami. So Howard Snellenberger, the coach at the time, he flew into South Fork on a helicopter, and he recruited me that way. And it was a close call, Larry. I narrowed the choices down to Notre Dame, Penn State, Georgia, Miami, and I think it was Nebraska. And I chose Georgia because, I wanted to run the football. And Larry, I should have gone to UM initially because I would have played baseball and football there. A lot of people don't know I played, baseball, out of high school and ended up playing a little bit with Montreal. But I chose Georgia, and I ended up being a freshman All-American. First game, I had over 100 yards. I had an injury-prone freshman season, but I wanted to come back home, and I came back to Miami.
And so when you got back to Miami, tell us about did you help get the swag back?
I don't know if I helped get the swag back. I tell you, Larry, man, that was like going from, the transition from Georgia to Miami was just crazy because Georgia is a college town. But Miami, the university, is right across from the Grove. And, it's just the guys' mentality was different. I mean, it was just, you got guys on the team from Liberty City and Overtown. It just was a whole different experience for me. Great athletes, but no, it was a great time. We won a lot of games, national champions, and Jimmy Johnson, of course, was the head coach. Played with a lot of talented guys, and man, won a national championship, and ended up being very fortunate to set the all-time reception record there that still stands to this day. First team All-American, and did it all in one season, and got drafted in the first round.
Well, and you drafted by the first round by the Rams. Now tell us about the Rams. Tell us about that experience.
The Rams was a good experience. The thing about that, I played in the Senior Bowl after my, senior season had ended, that phantom fumble at Notre Dame, which I scored. But anyway, the Rams coaching staff was our coaches in the Senior Bowl. So John Robinson saw me all that week, and I ended up having over 100 and some all-purpose yards. And I thought I would go to the Broncos, this team you wouldn't play for. So I thought I was going to go to the Broncos, where you went. And so they called me the night before the draft, says, we're going to take you in the 13th pick in the first round. And then I got another call from the Giants, says, we're going to take you the 18th pick. But it was all that week, it was Broncos, 13th pick in the first round. But I really think the Rams did some savvy stuff there, and they traded up, went in the first round, but I ended up going there, and no regrets. Had a great career there.
Yeah, and I tell you, man, now you went there in what year? 1987?
1989.
89. And then the very next year, you led the NFL in touchdowns. Now that was pretty much of an accomplishment. 14. Were they all rushing, or a combination rushing and pass receptions?
Most of them was rushing. No, there was rushing. No, 14 rushing. I had a total of 15 touchdowns.
Wow.
Yeah, I had a total of 15, but I came in somewhere around the third game because I had injured my back and in training camp, and so they were not sure if I was going to even make it. I had hurt my L4 and L5. But fortunate enough, I got healthy, and I came in around the third, fourth game and ended up scoring 15 touchdowns. So I never really had that chance to play that full season, but I was very blessed, very fortunate to be able to have a good season and have an all-pro season.
Now that was an amazing accomplishment, man. And I tell you, Khalif, I was so proud to be sitting on Sunday watching you run that ball, knowing that you were someone that was from this area. And actually, I became your insurance agent. And I never forget that, and that you came back, and little did we know each other that much, but you entrusted me to be your agent. And I always remember that, but you were always humble. You never put yourself above anybody. And I really admire that about you, Cleve. So, we talked about the football career, and it has served you well. Now you're moving to another phase of your life, and we want to talk about that because you're doing some amazing things. I mean, we're going to talk about the Black Shopping Channel. We're going to talk about ECRID. You have a publicly traded company. And also we're going to be announcing something very special happening here on the Flame. toward the end of the show. But transitioning from football to the business arena, how was that, Cleve?
I was ready for it, Larry. I kind of came from that background, in business background, and went to business school. But it was something that I was always interested in. I've always heard my mother say, God gives some people more than one talent, and you should never leave anything on the table, and you should never let anybody pigeonhole you just as an athlete. I want you to do well at school, but I want you to move upward. I don't want you to walk around the rest of your life saying, okay, I'm Cleveland Gary, I play professional football. You're better than that. You can go out in life. She says, I drove school bus for a living to put food on the table to take care of you and your two sisters. So I grew up in a single family home, with no father. I haven't had influential uncles, but I went home every day to my mother. And so she was just a motivator, didn't have a high school diploma. She had to work and help babysit and take care of the other kids while my grandparents were in the fields. Like I said, we were migrants. So she instilled a lot in me, and I'm very grateful for that. And I've been around very influential people, like you, for one, and we've been friends for a long time, like my Uncle Willie, Uncle Freddie. So I've been very lucky, very blessed to be around good people.
Cleve, and that says a lot. People look at that Gary name, and you have a very powerful name, not just here on the Treasure Coast, but throughout the country. But little do people know that you've had your struggles too. You didn't come from an ideal, background, as you must say right now. Your mom, she wasn't someone just trying to live off your uncle's reputation. She was out there working. Freddie the same way. But I want to give a shout out to I think Evan is your cousin, right?
Right.
Tell our audience a little bit about Evan, because Evan, Cleve, I think I want to make a bet. Now, I don't know where you think, but I believe Evan is going to go in the top 5 picks. Tell everybody who Evan is.
You can also, that's my uncle's grandson, and Evan played at Alabama, and he's coming out in the draft as the #1 offensive talent in the entire draft. And he could definitely, top 5, I think he'll be a top 3 pick.
Yeah, okay.
And so, he's a very intimidating big lineman, and great blocking skills, great athlete, but most importantly, a very good young man, very good personality, has his head on his shoulders, and I think he's going to do very well.
And Cleve, talking about Evan, I was talking to Freddie the other day. Man, it's something in y'all blood, man, because I believe, about 4 of you all have gone to the NFL? Because Charles, your cousin, Charles Emmanuel.
Right. Yep. He was with the Vikings and the Eagles, and my cousin Jimmy, he was there in training camp with the Seattle Seahawks.
Mm-hmm. So that's truly fantastic, man. And all of you, I know all of you guys, you've kept your head straight and never forgot where you came from. You never put yourself. And as Willie always say, one of his favorite saying is, never look down on someone unless you're looking down to give them a hand up. And that's what Cleveland Gary is about right now. So let's transition into that business arena. Tell us about some of your business endeavors that you're involved in. And, let's look at the Black Shopping Channel, but I know you're more focused right now on ECRID, but I want to touch a little bit on that Black Shopping Channel, because both of these businesses says a lot about, your vision. I mean, you don't dream small dreams, Cleve.
Well, I guess however you perceive it, Larry, it's just having a vision. When God gives you a vision, it's going to offend some people because you're so aggressive, and you don't have to be a mediocre thinker. And when you look at other people and what they've accomplished, I mean, if you want to be the president of the United States, doesn't matter what color you are, what gender you are, if that's what you want to be, you set your sights to it and you work towards it. But most importantly, I just believe a lot of things happen in life we don't really have control over. I mean, God will just put you in a situation. He gives you the talent. He gives you the help. He gives you everything you need. He even places the idea in your head, but it's up to you to utilize your free will and put it to work. He wants us to work. He wants us to take what he has given us and embellish it by working. And there's nothing wrong with that.
So where do you want to go with ECRID? Because that one right there is very, I mean, the shopping channel is good, but ECRID, man, that has really captivated me. It's your own publicly traded company. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So how did you come up with that idea?
Larry, that's a good question. When I look at like my family, you look at your mom, you look at your, the Black community, no offense, it has nothing to do with racism, but you look at the income per capita and you just grow up in an environment, I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like for my mom to struggle. I know what it's like for her to live, you living on a school bus salary and you go and try to get a car and you see inaccuracies on your credit report. And, back in those days, you really didn't know how to read a credit report. So just being around it and you watch and you listen and you say, wow, this is crazy. This is the kind of system we're under. And just over time, it just never left. Man, this could, you look at, the major credit bureaus and how so many millions of people don't even know how to read a credit report, but their life, their destiny is controlled by someone else's credit report that they don't even understand. So when you 30 days late on a bill and you have to suffer for 7 years, that's pretty tough. That doesn't even make sense. And so I thought older I got, the idea has been there for over 18 years. But as I grew and owning companies, I got to do this. I got to create a credit bureau.
We're having a little bit of how's your Wi-Fi? Because we got a little bit of, I'm not sure whether it's back connected well. How's your Wi-Fi signal strong?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you now. Yeah.
Am I good?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and we on the radio is very clear, but on the internet, we had a little pause on the audio side. But you were talking about that credit score.
So what happened? I created a credit scoring system that will cut down the time a person has to suffer. 7 years for 30 days doesn't make sense. People get older, people get sick, things happen in their life, and they deserve to live a quality life. So with ECRID, you can be late 4 months on a bill and you're gonna lose 100 points. But if you make 24 months of consistent payments, you'll have a perfect score. At ECRID, we don't judge you by your mistakes. Your credit character is substantiated by your willingness to say, look, I made a mistake. I was late 38 days. I was late 2 months. I was late 3 months. But I'm going to pay my bills on time, get back on track, revive myself, and go get a house because I want a good interest rate. So we have like a redemption plan where when you're 38 days late, which is a month in our cycle, you make 6-month payments and get those 25 points you lost back. If you're 68 days late, that's our 2-month cycle, you make 12 months, 1 year of consecutive payments, you get those 50 points back. If you're 98 days late, that's a 3-month cycle, you lose 75 points. But if you make 18 months of consistent payments, you get a chance to redeem yourself. And that's indicative of your credit character, not the mistakes you make, your willingness to make up for those mistakes. Everybody deserves a second chance. And so we created that scoring model so you would get a second chance. All
right. Well, Cleve, pause right there. We're going to take a brief commercial break. And when we come back, we want to get a little deeper in that because this is very interesting. I want to tell our listeners how they could go to the stock market, and it's listed right now, and what they would say, I guess they call them penny stocks because they're not over, I guess, $4 or $5 a share right now, but this is the time to buy. So we want to take this brief commercial break, and we'll be right back with Cleveland Gary.
104.5, The Flame, the voice of the village.
Seatbelt? Check. Tunes? Check. Breakfast at McDonald's? Check it out. Now you can mix and match any two of your select faves for just $6. Like a sizzling sausage McMuffin with egg, crispy bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, or sweet bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddles. Start your morning only at McDonald's drive-thru. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Single item at regular price. Valid when product served.
When's the best time to dig into McDonald's bakery item? The morning for a blueberry muffin or the afternoon, like for a classic apple fritter or cinnamon roll? The answer is anytime. Now treat yourself to 20% off your favorite McCafe bakery item exclusively with the McDonald's app. Make it your morning thing or your afternoon thing or whenever. And no matter what, get 20% off with the McDonald's app. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Offer valid through 12/31/2022. Participating McDonald's. Valid one time per day. Refer to McD app for details. McD app download and registration required.
You know International Diamond Center is the best place to buy diamonds and fine jewelry. But did you also know IDC will buy from you? Diamonds, heirloom jewelry, estate jewelry, Swiss watches, coins.
Don't be afraid to come in and get a price on something that maybe it's an heirloom that you want to sell, or you're just checking to see the price.
IDC owner Keith LeClaire has a vast network of collectors and buyers around the world, so IDC can always find a market for your jewelry.
We always pay a very strong price to buy. There's a resale market that's there, and we pay top dollar for top merchandise. We have people all over the world that we sell to. So some collectors are going to pay way more than any consumer's going to pay. We'll give you the best possible price, no games played, and you'll get the check or the cash, whatever one you want.
Let IDC appraise what's in your jewelry box. You might get a pleasant surprise.
Sometimes they come in, they have no idea what's there, and then all of a sudden they walk out with a $28,000 check.
International Diamond Center. Online at shopidc.com.
If you or a loved one has been seriously injured or killed in a tractor trailer or automobile accident or suffered because of medical malpractice or nursing home abuse, call us. If you or your coworkers are experiencing discrimination at work, call us. This law firm of Gary, Williams, Parenti, Watson, and Gary has been fighting for people like you for over 40 years in all types of cases. So call us today at 888-505-4279. That's 888-505-4279.
I'm Willie Gary. And I'm Lorenzo Williams. Let us fight your battle.
The law office of Gary, Williams, Parenti, Watson, and Gary. Offices located in Stewart.
Hello, I'm Elijah Bell, owner of Bell's Funeral Home and Cremation Services.
And I'm Charles A. Spates, Managing Director.
We're located at 7091 South US Highway 1 in the great city of Port St. Lucie, Florida. Our phone number is 772-236-3010.
Once again, that's 772-236-3010. Let us be of service to you. Bell's Funeral Home and Cremation Services, a new generation of service.
Hi, Jackson Hewitt here. Do you file taxes? Then this is a message for you. Jackson Hewitt knows a lot changed in 2021, and there are many ways you had to adjust. Did you know these changes could impact your taxes, and you may be owed an even bigger tax refund than you think? Let one of Jackson Hewitt's skilled tax pros help you get every dollar you deserve. We promise you'll get your biggest refund possible, or you get your tax prep fees back plus $100. In uncertain times, you can be certain about your taxes. Visit jacksonhewitt.com for terms or stop by and talk with your local Jackson Hewitt tax pro today. That's Jackson Hewitt.
Al Johnson here for Jackson Hewitt, where we make you feel comfortable, protected, and secure. So accept this as a personal invitation to stop by one of my many locations in St. Lucie County to sit and work with a pro. Again, this is Al Johnson saying, thanks for your business and thanks for choosing Jackson Hewitt.
If you can push it, pull it, drag it, or tow it, we'll take it and pay you $5,000 for your trade, guaranteed. At Toyota Kia Vero Beach, don't be fooled by other dealers up to trade-in amounts. Only Toyota Kia Vero Beach guarantees you $5,000 minimum for your trade. Plus, if your trade's worth more, we'll pay you more, $5,000 more. And if you owe more than your vehicle is worth, your clunker is all you need. No matter where you live, Stewart, Melbourne, Sebastian, Beltsville, Port Port St. Lucie, Fort Pierce, even West Palm. Only Toyota Kia Vero Beach pays you more for your trade. If you can push it, pull it, drag it, or tow it, we'll take it and pay you $5,000 for your trade. Guaranteed. At Toyota Kia Vero Beach, south of Oslo Road on US 1. Online at VeroBeachPaysMore.com. That's VeroBeachPaysMore.com. My brand minimum towards new purchase only vehicle condition, mileage history, repairs, and other factors may affect value. See dealer for details.
The Robert Cray Band brings their live show to downtown Fort Pierce. The Robert Cray Band, Friday, January 28th, 8 p.m., historic Sunrise Theater in downtown Fort Pierce. Tickets on sale now at the box office or sunrisetheater.com.
This is a paid advertisement. It does not represent the views of WFLM ownership, management, or staff.
104.5, The Flame, the voice of the village.
Welcome back to the Restoring the Village Family Hour. I'm your host, Larry Lee Jr., and my special guest this evening is none other than Cleveland Gary, former NFL running back with the Rams and also the Dolphins, as well as a businessman. And Cleve, we were talking about ECRID, and I want to say also that I was impressed with you going to UM, not just playing football, but you have your degree in what? Business administration and management? What's your degree?
Business. Bachelor's Business Administration.
That's awesome. And so we were talking about ECRID. Now, for our listeners who might want to look up the stock, spell that for me.
ECRID is ECRI, Edward, Charlie, Ram, Indian, David, ECRID.
Okay. Now, how did you come up
with ECDD? Sorry about that.
ECDD. Okay. How did you come up with that name?
I just thought of I wanted a name that really made no sense, so it would get attention. Like what does that mean? There's no meaning behind it. Just came up with it.
Okay. And so we were talking about, and that was pretty interesting before the break, about you talking about how people may miss a payment for like a month, and then they're penalized for a considerable amount of time. Now compare ECRID with, say, Trans Union and Equifax and some of the others. Let's do a comparison in terms of if somebody missed a payment, 2 payments, and was out of their regular normal payment cycle with one of those versus ECRID, how would that work?
Well, yeah, if you're 30 days late with the credit bureau, it goes on your credit report. The credit bureaus, the major credit bureaus, no offense, with ECRID, with Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, they are what you call a B2B to C. They have a B2B to C relationship with their customers, a B2B to C. Your creditor, for an example, if you have an AT&T phone bill or you have a loan of some sort, that creditor reports that to the credit bureaus monthly. The credit bureaus, that's a business to business relationship. And the credit bureau, that business reported to you, the consumer. So you can access that credit report every 30 days. But the problem is, and this is statistically, recorded, 80% of the American population, from what I've read and what I've studied, has inaccuracies on their credit report. 80%, that's a large number. And so when you update your credit report or access it on a monthly basis, you have no idea if it's going to be accurate or inaccurate. With ECRID, I wanted to do something different as a credit bureau. It's a B2C relationship. We're the business, you're the consumer. You pay your bills monthly through what is called the ECRID Bill Pay Portal. And that's online inside your own business center. You create your account, you add your light bill, your water bill, your phone bill, your cell phone bill, even your rental payments. These are bills you have to pay every month. So they are validated as credit worthiness. You are credit worthy if you're paying your light bill every month, You're credit worthy if you're paying your water bill. You're credit worthy if you're paying your cell phone bill. You're credit worthy if you're paying your auto insurance every month, or whatever cycle. You're credit worthy if you're paying your rent every month. That validates your credit worthiness. But the credit bureaus never took notice of this. And so it can create an issue for a hardworking 9-to-5 worker every single day that wants a home. They pay their bills. They never got a chance to get their bills exposed on their credit report. These are what you call unconventional bills. They're unconventional. But at ECRID, you make your payments monthly through the ECRID bill pay portal. And the moment you make that payment, it updates in real time. It's automated. It updates your ECRID credit report, which means you are in full control of your credit report. There can never be an inaccuracy because you're the one that's making the payment.
Okay, so let's say right now, what I would do if I wanted to take advantage of ECRID, I would go online, go to your website.
ECRID.com. You would go to www.ecrid.com and you would click the button that says create your credit report. The moment you click that button, it's very user-friendly. It'll say creditor 1. Larry, it's so simple. If you want your auto insurance, if you want your light bill, your water bill, or your rental payments, go get those invoices, put them in front of you, and you fill out the information 4 times. So you have to have a minimum of 4 creditors to validate the system, to create the credit report. So if you put in, for example, your light bill, your water bill, your AT&T mobile phone, your insurance, auto insurance, you need a 4 minimum. You can put up to 10, but 4 minimum is $25 per creditor that you add. So 25 times 4 is $100. You check out, you hit submit, you pay for it, it's $100 instantly. You'll receive an email saying congratulations. To view your ECRID credit report, click on the button below. You just click on the button. It takes you inside your own ECRID Business Center, and you can view your credit report with a 950 perfect ECRID credit score. That's a perfect credit score. Now, to maintain that perfect credit score, every single month, you log into the bill pay portal and you pay that bill, and you can go back and look at your ECRID credit report and you'll see, wow, it just updated. You updated it. You, the customer, you control your credit destiny at ECRID.
Now, when that the $100, is that a one-time fee or is it a continuous fee?
It's only annual.
Yeah,
just an annual renewal fee. That's it.
You're just like a credit card. You just pay a renewal like American Express. You got a $50 charge or whatever to be a member of American Express. Okay, and that's why you say minimum of 4, but would be easy. So now, let's say, for instance, now I got my ECRID score. Do they score on the same numeric system as the other major credit bureaus, like the 700, 800 scores? Do they score?
Absolutely not. There is no continuity between the two. It's our high score, and I'll tell you how that works. We developed our own credit scoring model, as I explained to you earlier. If you're late, you can redeem those points back. That's ECRID's highest score, a 950. And Larry, we created the system to where you can maintain that and get it back. With other credit bureaus, you make a payment, you're late, 30 days late, 7 years. It's a ongoing infinity struggle to have a perfect score. But at ECRID, you can. But the scoring system is totally different. That's our scoring system. And after you've had that credit report for about 2 months to 3 months, 1 quarter, 3 months, you can apply for a loan. You can apply for a mortgage. You can apply for a car or personal loan. And ECRID has, what makes ECRID so unique, we have our separate entity inside of an entity, like a subcomponent, which is ECRID Lending Corp. The key here is having total self-control. And as a publicly traded company, we can do secondary offerings. We can do every quarter. We can raise more money. And the primary objective is to raise $500 million. And I know you said, wow, that's a lot of money. Well, that money is for the 9-to-5 worker who wants a refinance, who wants a house, never had a home. We want to lend our own paper initially. and find, so that way, if you've had a bankruptcy, if you've had collections, if you've had liens, ECRID Corp Lending Division can still approve you. But if we had to go by Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, you would never get a chance to be a homeowner if you have a tumultuous credit report that has bankruptcies and judgments and liens. We don't look at that as being indicative of your credit character. What if you got a divorce and you lost most of the assets? What if you got sick? What if you lost your job and you couldn't work for 6 or 7 months and your credit score is jacked up, but you get well, you get back on your feet. Now you have 2 or 3 jobs and you have the income to service that new debt structure on that home. So we look at 2 things and some ancillary information. One, we look at your ECRID credit report and your income to debt ratio. If you have the income, you're a warrior and you're not going to lay down, and now you got the income to verify that new home, we don't care about that judgment of bankruptcy. We're going to take a chance because that validates credit worthy. You were willing to get up off your feet and get your life back together. And that's what ECRID's all about. Our motto is creating second chances for you.
That is very interesting. So what you've done, you've created an interesting model where you created your own credit system. And then when you help that person improve their credit worthiness, you then have a vehicle in place, because that's what I was going to ask. I was going to say, well, what if the person get a good score through ECRID? How do they go to a conventional bank to get that loan based on, the newness of your business? Well, that's kind of interesting. You created your own financing corporation in there. So if their score is substantial and meets your credit rating standards, then you provide the loan to these people.
It's a one-stop shop. It's a one-stop shop because, Larry, what that system amounts to, it puts the power in the hands of the people. And I'll give you an example. You look at Black Wall Street back in the day in Oklahoma, how a consortium of people decided, say, hey, we're tired of being beat up and we don't want to fight. We're not mad at anybody, but we're going to go and we're going to create an environment and we're going to buy from each other. In other words, where you spend your money is where you should invest your money. And when the public at large understand that, they are unstoppable. When you look at the African-American consumer, the culture, it's on record. They spend $1.3 trillion a year, but where does that money go? If you break it down, Google it, the stats are there. The Black dollar stays in its community only 4 hours. The other Chinese, Caucasian stays in there 6 days. So there's no room for us to build economic wealth. There's no room because it's not because we're bad people. Maybe we lack the knowledge. And this is what this is all about. Educating people on your actions has everything to do with where you're going to take your community, your kids and their kids. So when you spend together, you're creating power. And when you have power, you have the ability to help other people.
That's awesome. So Cleve, how do you raise the money on the financial side? Okay, now we got the credit and you have the vehicle in place to loan the money. How do you get the money into your corporation?
That's why, Larry, one of the tough things was getting ECRID public, a publicly traded company. Man, it's been a long road. You're talking a lot of years and rejections and comments. You got to go to the Securities and Exchange Commission and you got to get those documents approved. And it wasn't easy and it's not easy, but having a publicly traded company gives us the ability to sell shares of stock to the public at large. It can be a guy riding a bicycle who has a check coming in and he buys 1 or 2 shares at 50 cents. We're publicly traded. That's what an initial public offering is. It's an IPO. The SEC effectuated our S1 document, which gives us the permission to go out and sell right now 40 million shares at 50 cents and raise 20 million in the first round. Second round, we'll raise somewhere between 350 to 500 million. But the use of proceeds is going to be used to finance and get these people in homes. So if you got a $375,000 house, you got jacked up credit, but you got a good job, and we do a credit analysis where you can service that new debt. We're going to get you in that $375,000 home, and because it's the company's money, we're going to give you a fair interest rate on top of it.
See, that's awesome, man. That's very interesting. I think I went on the site last night and started studying it. You and I and Stanley Campbell, we were having some discussions, and Stanley, who basically had some background in what you were talking about. I was surprised. He told me later, he said, Larry, he's really on to something, with this ECRID. And I just want to commend you, for it. Tell our listeners to check it out. And I tell you, I'm really impressed. And that's one of the things that we have to do. Now, like you said, I'm not mad at anybody. I'm not mad at the Chinese. I'm not mad at the Jews for them doing what they're doing, but we need to try to do that as Black people, people of color. We need to try to keep our money to help our community. And that's one of the things that I've been trying to do for decades in terms of helping to rebuild, our Black community here in Fort Pierce. And I've talked with your aunt, down, and some great things happening in Indiantown, but it's time for us to rise up and do some things for ourselves. The Jewish community, I really admire the Jews. They stress education, and there's no hating on them. When one of them rise up and do well, the whole community celebrate them. But Cleve, I must say, man, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm 100% behind you. I don't just talk the talk, I walk the walk. But within our community, we got to get better. We got to get better with this self-hate that we have allowed to come into our community, the jealousy, envy. And what I encourage you to do is, as you travel this road that you're traveling, if you see yourself talking with someone and they start getting negative and telling you this won't work, and have you thought of, you know what, man, if you had allowed people to talk to you when you were in high school, at the UM and in pro, you never would have achieved the things that you've achieved athletically. And there's something about athletes, they know how to win, and you know how to win, Cleve. So this is a very interesting concept. Now, how long have you been, and like what you said, no small feat. The SEC, the Security Exchange Commission, they do not allow anybody to just go start a company. Tell our listener audience some of the stuff that you had to go through just to get the point that you are right now. Like you said, it was no small feat.
Well, Larry, you and I have known each other for years, and I admire what you've accomplished, and I've always seen humility and humbleness, and I've never seen any arrogance. So I've been fortunate to be in good environments, and when you're in a good environment, I mean, and you see positive things, and it's truly an asset. It's an asset to you going forward, because it gives you a roadmap on how to deal with the business world, because all of you guys, you're businessmen, and I've seen how you guys have done things, and so I've been inspired, and it's just there's obstacles, man. We've had years of hard work, staying up at night, and papers up to your waist, and they say this is not right, what color is your footprint, whatever. The bottom line is, there was just no option. You do what is asked of you, and you get it done. And it's been a long road to get to this point, to be in a position to be able to impact people's lives in a positive way. And as you said, Larry, it just takes a little bit of knowledge to understand what we have. And as a unit going forward, there's nothing we can't accomplish. If you don't get it from the investment banks, if you don't get it from the hedge funds, collectively as a people, you're spending 1.3 trillion. The key is no matter what, get the job done. That's your motto, right, Larry?
Yeah, get the job done.
I've heard you say that. No matter what, get the job done.
No matter what. And no is not an option. No, it's not. No, it's not an option. Man, I'm getting a ton. This is a very interesting show. I just want to tell you, I was just trying to respond to some of the text messages, because what happened was sometimes when I have guests on like you, my phone started blowing up with people wanting to know, okay, now he said, they say, spell that name again. I guess they want to start jumping on it right now. They say, spell it again for me. And then someone has said that this is really overwhelming. This is awesome. This is just the beginning of more to come. And this, the one text said, I can see a bank eventually coming out of this. I can see, well, the financial, and right after he said that, you were talking about, your own lending corporation there. But spell the name again, letter by letter for our listening audience, because someone just texted me.
Okay, it's ECRID. E as in Edward, C as in cat, R as in ram, I as in Indian, D as in David. ECRID, ECRID. And the stock symbol is E as in Eric, C as in Charlie, D as in David, D as in dog. ECDD. Eric, Charlie, David. So you can buy the stock right now, 50 cents. We're in our initial public offering. And Larry, they can go right to ECRID.com. They can go to ECRID.com and you'll see that button says click to buy IPO shares. Click, fill out the subscription agreement. You'll get an email on how to pay for them. We'll book entry those shares, lift a legend, put them in your broker account. You can sell them, hold on to them, do whatever you want to do.
Awesome. So Cleve, we're going to take our final commercial break. And when we come back, we'll wrap up our show. But thank you so much for this wealth of information. So we're going to take our brief commercial break, and we'll be right back with Cleveland Gary.
.5, The Flame, the voice of the village.
I'm attorney Dean Freeman. We handle personal injury and work compensation claims. Call now. Free consultation. I keep it real.
Car crash, slip or fall. Call Freeman Injury Law. 800-561-7777.
Pour it your way. DD Perks members, get ready to conquer the day with a $3 medium hot or iced latte or cappuccino. America runs on Dunkin'. Exclusions, additional charges, and terms may apply. Participation may vary. Limited time offer.
Tobacco-free Florida knows how hard it is to quit nicotine, which is why we offer different quit options to choose from for free, like 24/7 quit coaches available over the phone and free 2-week starter kits of quit aids. We're even experimenting with 80s pop music.
I'm giving you up, giving you up, giving you up. I'm letting you never come back to smoke. I'll never come back, come back to smoke. I'll never come back. I'm giving you up.
Work. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com or call 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW for free nicotine patches.
Are you looking to reduce your monthly debt? If so, call Buccaneer Mortgage and get pre-approved for your cash-out debt consolidation refinance loan.
Buying, selling, refinancing. Call Buccaneer Mortgage. TheGoodPirates.com. Licensed in Florida and Georgia.
Confusion at the cart? There's an app for that. The Solid Waste Disposal District has launched a new mobile app called Carter's Corner to help Indian River County residents find out if an item is recyclable before it goes in the blue cart. Download the app on your mobile device at Google Play or the Apple App Store, or visit ircrecycles.com. Just type in the item and get recycling information within seconds. So eliminate confusion at the cart and recycle right.
Kids and Nurses PPEC Center is a child care facility that cares for children with medical issues that make it impossible for them to attend a regular child care center or school. They provide an environment that is both safe and loving with medical personnel, PT, OT, and speech therapy. Services include a hot breakfast, lunch, and snacks. All of their staff practice COVID-19 protocol to ensure safety. Services are free to qualified participants. Centers are located in both Vero Beach and Fort Pierce. Contact them at 772-226-5059 and on the web at kidsandnursesppecenter.com. thevillageautoservice.com.
Ride for You Auto Sales, 4405 South US Highway number 1, Fort Pierce, dedicated to providing the ultimate auto buying experience with a wide variety of automobiles. We ride for you at Ride for You Auto Sales, 4405 South US Highway number 1, Fort Pierce. Good credit, bad credit, no credit. Everybody rides at Ride for You Auto Sales, 4405 South US Highway number 1, Fort Pierce, 772-409-6741, 772-409-6741. Ride for You Auto Sales. Let's ride. This is a paid advertisement. It does not represent the views of WFLM ownership, management, or staff.
104.5, The Flame, the voice of the village.
And welcome back to the Restoring the Village Family Hour. I'm your host, Larry Lee Jr., and want to, during this last portion of the show, thank our sponsors again, Chris Vogel with the Way Cafe, Bill Knight, State Farm Insurance Agency, Jackson Hewitt, Al Johnson's Jackson Hewitt Tax Services, Karen Hoskins with Realty One, Jan's Trendsetter Hair Salon, and Larry Lee Jr. State Farm Insurance Agency, as well as 104.5 The Flame. And might I also add the Lighthouse Foundation's Restoring the Village initiatives. And we have with us this evening Cleveland Gary, who's doing some amazing things. But one of the things that I am so impressed with is about his publicly traded company, ECRID. And that's spelled again, E as in Edward, R as in Ram, I as in intelligent, D as in David. And I stayed with that R as in Ram because I guess Cleve liked the Rams. So, but anyway, that's how you spell it. I just went on, Yahoo Finance and looked it up. And right now it was at 45 cents a share, I believe. But you can go and buy it, online, or you can go right to where Cleve was saying a subscription agreement. And Cleve, we have about 9 minutes to wrap up the show. Did I miss anything? Anything else you would like to share with our listening audience about some of the things you're doing? Anything that we miss on ECRID? I want to give you this opportunity to do that.
No, Larry, I think you've covered everything very well. It's been, very exciting. I've had a great time, and maybe I can come back sometimes and, dialogue with you. But no, it's been great. I've really enjoyed myself.
Well, you say you maybe you could come back sometime. Now that's kind of that's kind of interesting because
I'm just setting you up.
You just set me up because we have a big announcement that we're going to be making tonight, and I am really thrilled that Cleveland Gary is getting ready to become a part of the Flame family, starting the first Tuesday of February. He will be hosting his own show, the Cleveland Gary Show. And Cleve is, he's going to be having some outstanding, he's already lining them up, some outstanding guests on his show. We were talking, I don't know whether you want to mention this particular one, but me, you, and a particular person was talking the other night. So I know he's going to be one coming up, but Cleve has a heck of a Rolodex. And so let's talk about some of the things because you're just not a sports figure, but you're also a business figure. There's so many other things. So when people say the Cleveland Gary Show, automatically think, it's going to be a sports show. But talk about some of the things that you foresee you're doing with your show, Cleve.
Well, Larry, obviously we're going to talk about ECRID, the credit bureau, because, the two most powerful commodities on the planet is cash and credit. So it's exciting. Everybody wants to be strong in that area, cash and credit. So we're going to talk about those things. And and having a football background, sports background, I love sports. We'll talk about sports, but I'm very, very excited and passionate about getting results, and meaning getting people approved for homes at good interest rates and getting them into cars and houses. That makes me feel good. That's scoring a touchdown for me when we can put smiles on people's face in that area. And that's the beautiful thing about being, on the Flame, and besides being around great people like yourself. And we'll talk about Black Shopping Channel because it's all entrepreneur driven. People being able to sell their products and live stream their products in front of a big audience so they can create sales for themselves and make money. And there's nothing wrong with that. And so I'm excited about being able to be on a great station like The Flame and just dialoguing with the people and building the relationships and trying to make the world a better place, because talk is cheap. Actions speak louder than words. We're going to need these people to be proactive. You know, they can ask questions, and we'll do this together. It's not going to be perfect. There's going to be things, you know, hurdles we got to get over. But if we stick in there together, we can build a community, and we can make it stronger, and we can make it stronger, and we can impact people's lives. And that's what I like about the Flame family. They're open to make a difference, and that's what makes it exciting for me to be a part of the Flame family.
Well, Cleveland, we welcome you, and I wanna just ask you, can you do me a favor? Can I be a guest on your show one day?
Oh, hey, I've already got you down right here. It's already on paper. It's right here.
Well, Cleve, man, you know, we just thank you, man, for being you. And I know, you know, my good friend Willie and Freddie and all the Garrett family and all of Martin County and the Treasure Coast, they're just proud of you. You know, we hear and see so many things, bad things about some of the athletes, pro athletes, and no matter whether it's football, baseball, or basketball, in terms of after football, they have nothing. They spend all their money and they have nothing left, but not Cleveland Gary. You know, you have been a very smart businessman, and this right here is indicative of what more and more athletes need to be doing with their monies, because you can't play football forever. What's the average life of a career of 4 years?
4 years.
4 years. And, you know, you have to be very smart to save some of that money. And if you don't even save the money, at least know how to utilize your value. And I see so many athletes, Cleve, they're at the top of the pinnacle of their game, and they don't realize that's going to be like a brief moment. And when their careers are over, they don't have that capital anymore, not just monetary capital, but personal capital anymore to get them to go into another arena. Many of them can't make that transition, but that is not the case with you. And again, we're extremely proud of what you've done and what you're gonna do. And you and I have been talking about some things, and Stanley, you know, Campbell, we've been talking about some things, and I'm so glad the two of you have connected, because he's gonna be a valuable counselor to you. But with that being said, we have about 3 minutes, and I'll give those to you, Cleve, to say, send a shout out to whoever, Martin County. I know Freddie, your uncle is listening, and anybody down in Martin County. You live down in Palm Beach County, right?
Both. Yeah, I'm back and forth, Palm City, Palm Beach. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, go ahead.
Well, you know, most importantly, Larry, it's just it's exciting. You know, I've always the day I entered the NFL, I was prepared to leave it, and I started working towards goals outside of football, and it's a blessing when you can provide a service that really makes a difference in people's lives. And I don't mean to say that with mere words. When you can get results meaning people can benefit from those services and they can enhance their life. You got a lot of people out here suffering, and they're not, you know, they're very shy, laid back, and don't want to reach out for help. But education, working together, and being very open, and it creates a willingness to want to move the ball forward. There's nothing we can't do together to create change. You know, we don't have to march and pick up picket fences. We don't need 40 acres and a mule. We need each other. And if we have each other, that creates power. That creates a positive attitude. And there's nothing that a guy who's been down, maybe is lost with his family, but he has the willingness, he has the help, and he has the drive to want to get better, it's our responsibility to create plans and ideas. So my show is really more so of a think tank, if you really think about it, because I value the listener's opinion. I value my listener's opinion, and that's important. That's what I want to stress, and that's where I am in my life. That's scoring touchdowns for me. When people all over the Treasure Coast, the United States of America, all over the world say, look, we as one, we can do it. If we want to put up financial centers, create educational literacy programs, we can do this. We can create generational wealth amongst ourselves. If we are open-minded, have a loving heart, we're going to make mistakes. That's what ECRID is all about. Redemption. You're going to make mistakes, but you are forgiven. You just got to keep plowing ahead. And that's what's going to make the next generation better. And Larry, I thank you've done so much for this community, your family. And man, I tell you, I just cannot thank you enough, because without the flame, your hard work and efforts, we wouldn't have this platform. We wouldn't have this platform to disseminate the kind of information that's going to effectuate and change people's lives. So I thank you and your family as well.
Well, thank you, Cleve, and thank you for believing in us. And we're going to give you that platform. I like what you said about the think tank. I'm just excited for your show. And I just got one final text message I'm going to take right now. Can you give our listeners one text me? They want to know how to go to your website again.
It's ECRID.com. It's E as in elephant, C as in Charlie, R as in Ram, I as in Indian, D as in David.com. You can go to the site. You can sign up as a member for free. And Larry, we'll talk about that on my show. This credit bureau, also ECRID, we created a referral program for you to make money. You'll have your own business. That's a free sign up. Go to ECRID.com, put in your name, your email address. It's for free, and you're in business. And we'll teach you later how to make money. When you share the information, every time somebody creates a credit report, it credits your ECRID wallet $75. And in 15 days, that money is available for you to transfer to your account. Wow.
That's another, oh man. Yeah, so we're going to have to really delve into that when we start your show. Well, Cleve, we're out of time, and we want to thank you for joining us. We're very excited. I know you're going to have a great show. We're going to give you that platform that you talked about. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for believing in the flame and supporting our efforts to keep this radio station on the air. That's why they say teamwork make the dream work, and you're part of that dream, and you're now part of the team. So Treasure Coast, as always, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is your gift from God. That's why they call it the present. Do something good for someone today and tell them to pay it forward, as Cleveland Gary is paying it forward. Good night, Treasure Coast. See you next week.
Thank you, Larry.
Don't use that.